Oh, Jimmy, you're back. Hey,
I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got a story to tell about that, but this
Do we?
is Pastor Will and
Jimmy.
over here at East Sullivan Street in downtown Kingsport, Tennessee, with the world famous Will and
Jimmy Show.
yeah, say it one more time. It is becoming more famous.
Yes, it
the
is.
Will and
Jimmy Show.
all right. So we're so glad you all have joined us this evening.
We are.
And I don't know how many we've been averaging in our Wednesday night service, but Jimmy, I just looked, and I believe we were way up. Was it? How much have we done from the Sunday service?
Close to 6,000.
6,000 people have viewed our Sunday afternoon online service, which is a replay of our Saturday worship.
Yes.
That's great, isn't
That's
it?
awesome. It's
Can you imagine that?
It is.
Yeah.
And we are, the Will and Jimmy Show averages usually around 4.
4,000 or 5,000?
We went up as much as
9,600.
Yeah, almost
Yeah.
10,000. So
Yeah.
thank you.
I think
mean, that-
Michael
yeah.
still has the record
I
from
think
Hunger
so.
First.
Michael
When
does.
we interviewed Michael, we had 9,000. It's probably reached 10,000 by now.
Probably close to it.
But yeah, months
Yeah.
ago when I checked it.
And if you figure it out, if 9,000 people actually watched, how many of those 9,000 people had 2 or 3 people watching with them?
Right.
You know,
Maybe
And
watching it on
doesn't-
the big screen
Right,
at home.
and it doesn't account for that. So
Right.
I'm sure it's 10,000.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Amen.
Yeah.
We'll
And-
take that.
And we are coming to you live from Studio Michelle.
yes,
We can't
Studio
forget.
Michelle,
Yeah, and
yes.
you got some beautiful flowers.
Well,
here
these
today.
flowers, we want to thank one of our faithful members of the congregation who is so kind and just for no other reason, which is the greatest reason of all, delivered flowers from the florist to us for this past Saturday morning worship. And I think I rephrased that a little bit wrong when I was mentioning that Saturday. I think I said it said on the card, "He is risen," but actually I quote, "It is because he lives." The flowers were given to Shades of Grace because he lives. And that's why we're here. And I know Diane from Greenback, Tennessee enjoys colorful flowers.
Yeah.
And these are not going to last until next Saturday, maybe,
Maybe.
but they'll still be okay for Bible study Wednesday afternoon.
Right.
Which was earlier today, of course,
Yes.
when you're receiving this. But aren't those beautiful?
Such a sweet, sweet
Yes,
person that
yes.
sent those to
So
us.
thank you, friend, for doing that. I didn't know if you wanted your name mentioned, so we just say you know who you are and what you did, and we do too.
Yeah,
Okay?
and we appreciate you.
Yes, we certainly do. Okay,
Yeah.
Jimmy, we had a great weekend.
We had a wonderful weekend.
Yeah,
Probably the largest crowd we've had since COVID.
since we've done Saturday
And,
church. Yeah,
I'm telling you, it's continuing to grow
every week.
every week with new people every week that we've never seen before, or people
Yeah.
that you haven't seen in a long
Right.
time. And I mean, it's amazing
Yeah,
what's
it is.
going on here on Saturday mornings.
Yes, whoever
So,
thought about it? But,
yes, it is.
You know, yeah, that's great. So,
We have added more chairs.
Yes.
We're working on ordering some new chairs, like the ones we already have.
Right.
We need more.
we want everything to match and to be uniform, but we've got those small, lightweight, black
folding chairs.
folding
like-
chairs
Yep.
over in
And
that section.
They work for the time being.
Yes.
And we still have our 2 couches over there in the area
Yes.
if those chairs don't work for you.
If you come to Shades of Grace and you're tired and weary and you just need to lay your head down, go lay down on the couch.
Yeah.
Take a nap. We're not going to say anything.
Yep.
You know, lots of the folks coming off the street, we've had folks sleep through services here hundreds of times
And it's not because your message is boring,
because they're tired.
and this is their safe place.
When folks are wandering all night, many of them, they walk because they're scared at night. And a lot of folks are homeless due to nothing that they did to cause it. It just, they're victims of life.
Right.
And so be careful how we judge folks.
I watched an interview. I'm going to get permission to share this before I do share it, but a student here of a local school made a video about homelessness. And I got it a few days ago and just now had a chance to watch it earlier today. And they interviewed someone, and she said that everybody is one event away from being homeless.
I believe that.
Boy, that's a reality.
Well, you know,
check,
Becky, our guest last week, Becky Mann, mentioned that. She said there could be a natural disaster right here in our city I mean, there could be a flood, there could be an explosion, there could be, any number of things could happen that we could have a whole city full of people homeless.
Yes.
I mean, it may be great right now, but there could be an earthquake. We don't know.
We could, absolutely.
We had an earthquake in New Jersey a couple of weeks ago. So who's to say it couldn't be here?
It could happen.
So, we all need to live as if we could become homeless.
And it doesn't matter how much money's in the bank.
Right, that's right.
Money can't do it all,
Right.
But that's just put it in perspective for me, and for those who maybe don't understand homelessness and tend to, I don't want to say judgmental, but judgmental reasons.
Well, sometimes you got to call it like it is.
Why people are homeless, that's not always the case.
No.
And we hear that a lot. Now, we see people every day who are trying to do better,
Right.
who I really feel in my heart that are trying to do better.
Yes.
And they just don't know what to do.
And you have to really
Or-
be an overcomer to
You
reach
do.
through all of, you said, you're the one who told me there are 15 steps that a homeless person needs to go through in order to get housing.
And the thing about that too is how long those 15 steps take. So you have to be so patient.
Right.
And I've been working with a lady who she's in her 50s, and she'll admit, if she were here talking to us right now, she would admit it's a string of bad choices that she has made, but she's ready to change that. And we have started the process of those 15 steps, and she checks with me every day. Is it here yet? Is it here yet? Is it here yet? Even this morning, first thing this morning, and I've been out for a few days, so I didn't see the mail yesterday, but before I even got in the door, is it here yet? And I knew it wasn't, but I went and checked just to make sure, because these things take time, but I'm praying that she holds on.
Right.
With many. I'm praying that she stays strong. I mean, she is on the streets. She's had some problems at homeless shelters with people, and that's understandable.
Right.
So she kind of prefers to be by herself. But I just pray that she has the strength to remain sober,
Exactly.
and just to keep I see every day the hope diminishing a little bit, and I really tried to build her up and said, hey, and you probably have heard me tell her, say, we've taken the first step,
Right.
and that's the big one.
And sometimes they're
That's the
big
big
steps, and sometimes they're little baby steps, and before you know it, they'll all
It
add
comes-
up, and
it
you'll
comes
have those
together.
15 steps.
But just it teaches, I guess, patience and builds your faith. And,
Right.
So that's just one of many.
Sure. Right.
I'm thinking of one who came and visited us here a few weeks ago, maybe 6 weeks ago, that had viewed a service on Sunday, a virtual service, and said she really felt the Spirit of God to come in and talk to us. And she was living at West Side Inn at the time, and had been sober, not for
Yes.
long, but she had been
And
sober.
she has been
And,
watching us, and she's still sober.
So, and that's,
And she's not able to get here. We don't have transportation or manpower to get people
Right.
here on Saturday morning. But let me just throw this out, Jimmy.
Okay, let's do it.
There's a couple of folks who really would love to come to church, and they've worshiped here before, but they're living over by the AmeriCorps, and that's on the east end of town. But if you would feel it in your heart, maybe if you're a husband and wife, or maybe a couple, I don't advise anybody alone to do this without someone with you. I mean, I just think it's
It's a
wise.
safe thing to
But
do.
if you've got a friend or a family member, and you would like to pick someone up for worship, if you'll call me, we can get in touch with at least 2 or 3 people who literally would love to come back to church. But they're not able to walk this far.
Now, let me ask the question that many people ask. Well, why can't they just take the bus?
There is no public transit on the weekends in Kingsport. The
Right.
buses run Monday through Friday until what? How late in the
I think
evening?
about 5, maybe 6.
Maybe 5 or 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
So there is no public transit on Saturdays or Sundays in Kingsport. And what a blessing it would be if we were to be able to have that. Maybe someday we will.
And
Okay?
if that's something you would be interested in, just reach out to us here
Sure.
at the Shades of Grace, and we can coordinate and those names and that sort of thing. But
Exactly.
that would be great, because
Yes.
there are several people that would love
Yes.
to be here, right? And
Yes.
it's not a long distance.
No.
But it's not walking.
What would you say? It's 2 to 3 miles?
Maybe 3 miles.
Maybe 3
yeah,
miles.
Maybe.
Right.
And we would love
yeah.
for that to happen.
And, we wouldn't recommend someone that we're not pretty well confident that we'll be fine.
Right,
We try
exactly.
to do a little bit of vetting on that end. But,
Yes.
yeah, that's just something I wanted to throw in case you feel the Lord asking you, well, what can I do? Well, who knows? Maybe that would be something you could do.
That is something
Yeah,
you can do.
okay.
Yep, that's good.
All right.
So,
How are we doing on our T-shirts, Jimmy?
which ones?
Well, you let everybody know, what are you working on?
Well, we will have shirts for everyone who's going to Lake Junaluska with us.
Right.
I haven't ordered those yet because I'm still getting names.
We're up to 50 or better people, over 50
yeah,
people
over
now
50.
that are going on the Lake Junaluska
And
trip.
also, I'm working on Will and Jimmy Show shirts.
Okay.
We're out of these. Going to use the same design. I like this design, but
Yeah.
may go with a different color this time for
Okay.
this round. But
All right.
I was kind of debating. We only had a couple left, and I was sitting there thinking. I was like, should we order more? Because, that's a cost. We don't mind to do
Yeah.
it, but
And
it
then
is-
somebody
it
came
is
in
cost.
today
And
and needs one for someone in Texas.
over the last couple of
Yep.
days, I've had several people ask. So that,
Right.
folks, that's what they call confirmation.
Right, exactly.
So I'm working on that
Right,
too.
okay.
And
God always
yeah,
provides.
absolutely, always. And the shirts for the choir and everyone who's going with us in June are coming out really nice.
Yeah.
It's very colorful, really catches your eye.
Good.
So we're
I'm
excited
excited
for
about
those.
that. Yeah.
So if you haven't signed up, and I think we're getting to where we're at the point where most people have signed up, but if you have not, the time is
Yeah.
running out.
Yeah, we
know.
leave on, it's a one-day trip. It's on June 10th. But we do need to order the shirts and reserve the bus and make sure everything's ready. Plus, we're going to make arrangements for a lunch stop on the way, and we'll be letting everybody on the trip know what to expect. But if you do not have the means to pay for your lunch, you let us know. We'll make sure that yours is taken care of. There is no charge for the trip at all. That's being graciously taken care of. And we're asking lunch to be on us. But if you can't come up with it, let us know.
Yeah.
We'll make sure that you'll be included in the lunch,
Yeah.
okay? Don't let money ever be a deterrent for not participating in something at Shades.
Right. So I would say maybe today we're middle way through April already.
Yes, we are.
Tax day is come and
Yeah,
gone.
and so we're going to be at the 10th of
So
May.
I would say
before you know it, and then you got one more month.
By the end of April, we probably need it. Therefore, I can order the shirts in case something's wrong. We have to send them.
Right.
Have to think about all those
Right.
things because it does happen.
Right, so we're going to
You
have
know,
to
so-
eventually have a cutoff.
So we'll say end of April, last day of April, will be the cutoff for that. Does that sound
Right.
good?
Yes.
Because that gives us a 4-week period, 4 or
Right.
5 week period. 'Cause
So as
once
Mikey might say, if you are a procrastinator, then you better stop
Better do it now.
procrastinating.
Because the first run of a shirt, I mean, it will take us about 2 weeks to
Okay,
get.
yeah.
And then after they make it, if we have to reorder, it doesn't take that
Right.
long. But so end of April.
Yeah,
So let us
okay,
know.
so, and there's no charge for the T-shirts either. You're not going to have to pay for it, okay? But if you did sign up, we need to know that you still plan to attend on that trip, because there may be someone waiting for the seat on the bus, okay? So let's be mindful of that. We know the bus may not be 100% full because things happen.
Right.
And a few people are driving, but we want to give the bus maximum
Sure.
potential.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I got phone numbers of everyone. I'll be calling to double check
Right.
over the next few weeks that everything is still, because things do come up. and
Right.
Maybe you have an added guest.
We need to get Lloyd's going to be our bus captain. We need to get him a hat and
Well,
something.
he definitely needs a
We
hat,
need to get
yeah.
him a hat or something.
Yeah, he can make announcements on the bus.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah,
So Lloyd, you heard that.
that's right. Yeah,
And if you didn't, Becky, you heard that. You
yeah,
tell him.
yeah, you need to pass the word. Yep,
And-
okay.
But it was a very busy day here today. We had our friends from Cross Connection Church of
Yes.
God here in Kingsport.
Yes,
They provided over 140 bag meals
Wow,
today.
amazing.
A very busy day with showers, men and women.
Yep.
And the clothing closet was very busy today too. I looked out several times and there were kind of lines going in both directions, you know. So it was a very busy morning, but a good morning.
A good morning.
Very good morning.
well, my morning started out with going to Jonesboro to the Event Center. I forget the name of it now. Maybe Heritage.
Hey, that's it.
Heritage Event Center.
Yeah.
And if you've never been there, it's right behind the Food City in Gray. It's a relatively new venue, really nice place. And Terry, our parish nurse, Uzoma, the member of our congregation who oversees the parish nurses, and Landon and I were all there this morning early. And then Terry, I guess, remained for the day with Uzoma, and Landon and I left after Landon sang and after I gave my presentation so we could get back here to do what we do best.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. You came just in time.
I did.
You got here just in time this morning.
I did.
It was very busy when you came in this
It
morning.
was
wasn't
very busy, yes.
It was really going
Yes.
today, but
It was.
a very good day. Lots of good, several needs were met today,
Yeah.
and and I mentioned to you, when you got here, I said we are seeing so many new
New
faces,
faces,
today.
I noticed that, yes.
So many people that we had never seen before.
And people coming for showers that we've never seen
You can
before.
always, the new people, you can tell because they don't know their way around. They don't know
Right.
kind of how
Right.
things work. And we had a lot of new people today,
Exactly.
which is great, and I'm thankful for to that. Well, one that we're able to help them and
Sure,
serve them and,
yes.
and share the love of Jesus with them in some way. But two, it's also concerning that so many more people are in need.
Yes.
And how rough things are getting. So,
I told someone today that we feel like we're in a social worker's office.
yeah.
Yeah. I guess we
Yeah.
could both get a job there part-time, Jimmy. You need a moonlight job.
The social workers call us sometimes.
They do.
I mean,
They really do. The navigators from Ballot Health, the social workers, all kinds of people contact Shades of Grace often, frequently. Like, maybe what would you do in a case like this?
Right,
I mean,
right.
we've never experienced this before, but we've heard that maybe you have. So those kinds of things.
And the number one thing I hear when I answer the phone, I hear, yes, they told me to call you.
They always, yes. They always will sometimes get you in trouble, too. They will.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
I kind of cringe a little bit when they said, they say.
Yeah. Well, who are they?
Yeah.
Who are they?
Hey, you had a funny story. Your daughter Lily has been coming here the last 2 Saturdays.
Yes, she has.
She's
yeah.
been up in the sound
Yeah.
booth. And Jimmy's got to tell you this. This was so cute. Now, this coming from a 6-year-old.
What story was this?
about
Uzoma?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
So Lily loves Uzoma. Uzoma Lou, who heads up our Shades of Grace International.
Yes.
And Uzoma was here Saturday, and we got home, and Lily said, Obama didn't come up and talk to me today. And I said, what? And she said, Obama didn't come talk to me today. And I said, who's Obama? She said, Obama that came. I said, you mean Uzoma? And she was like, oh yeah, Uzoma. But
That
she
was
called
pretty
her
good.
Obama.
That was cute.
Yeah, so
I like that.
Uzoma, you are in trouble.
Yeah, you're in competition. Okay. But Uzoma would get a kick out of
Yeah, but she loves her Uzoma.
But she didn't know,
Oh.
Uzoma didn't know that
No,
Lily
probably
was
not.
up in the sound booth, because you have to look up, you have to know who's up there. You have to be intentional about knowing who's there in order to identify.
She really likes coming here, and for children, sometimes this place can be a little bit different.
Oh, you told us about the shirt, the guy with the shirt.
With the right, I did mention that.
Yes.
And seeing that and trying to understand,
Why didn't
he
she?
didn't, and then I told you all the story about her taking her stuffed animals, and they were a homeless family, and she
Right.
told them, call Shades of Grace, they'll know what to do, that
Yes.
sort of thing.
Yes.
So she's really connecting with it, and she really I just kind of watched her up there, and Lily has social anxiety pretty bad, and loud noises, storms, wind. Oh my goodness, she's really struggles with that. But being up in the booth, I think that kind of
Shelters
gives her
her a
enough
little
of a barrier.
Yeah.
But I watched her; she was really paying attention.
Really? Oh, good.
She does like being here. So,
Okay.
So thank God for that.
Yeah. Now, you said there was something else you were going to tell us about today.
Yeah. So I'm wearing a necklace somewhere.
Okay.
Gosh, it was all the way over there that whole time. And I normally don't wear a necklace, but this, if you can see, this
Let's see what it is.
It's a little cross.
Okay.
And this is probably about 15, 16 years old. And I was a new believer and was really trying to change my life. And one of the things I struggled with was, the pastor who had prayed the prayers with me, and he said, your sins are forgiven. And I really struggled with being forgiven. How can somebody be forgiven for being the person who I've been, treating people the way that I did, just who I was? And I really struggled with that. I didn't understand what he meant by saying your transgressions from the east to the west. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so I found this necklace I used to travel for work a lot, and this was at a Family Christian store. It was kind of like Lifeway.
Right.
And the reason I got this is because on the back it said "Forgiven," and I wore this for a long time. And then over time, you grow in your walking with faith and with God. And like I said, I'm not a necklace wearer, so I didn't wear it for a long time. And then I found it, and I picked it up, and I had some good memories of this necklace. And I turned it around and I looked, and "Forgiven" is not there anymore.
It's worn off.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing.
It's worn off. And
you no longer need a sign.
It was there. I mean, it was carved in there.
Yeah.
How that is worn off, I don't know. But
well, you no longer need a sign to convince you that you're forgiven.
I found power, and I thought maybe somebody needed to hear that today.
Yeah.
So I wore this today.
Wonderful.
So yeah, it's amazing. It's not there anymore. So
it's gone. As the song says, "Praise God, my sins are gone."
Yes. But yeah, I just wanted to share that real quick. And we have a very special guest.
Yes, we do.
Tonight
Yes, we do.
With us.
Yes.
We've been trying to get this person for a good bit, but everybody's busy, and we have busy schedules, and sometimes it's hard. But it worked out perfect today,
Yes.
and we are so thankful she's with us. And I'm not going to tell you who it is, but I will tell you this. She makes a mean lasagna.
Oh man, we found that out.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Boy.
that's got that secret ingredient.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. But anyway, another funny story.
Yeah.
Can I tell the pub story?
Yeah. Oh yes. Yeah. By Everman.
Okay.
Well, you could tell it in its reality.
Okay.
Tell
it is. I'm going to tell it like it happened.
Tell it like it is. Absolutely. Some of you will like this.
If you're not from Kingsport, so I'm going to give a little backstory for those who are watching and are not familiar with downtown Kingsport. Right across the street, diagonal here from us, for years was the Nickelodeon pub, or everybody called it the pub.
Yeah.
And it was a place where lots of things happened over the years.
Whatever a pub produces,
it was probably there 40, 50 years.
A long time.
And, I remember as a kid coming in this area, and this area was kind of the rougher side of town back then. And you would always see somebody kind of limping and hobbling in and out,
Staggering.
And stand there. You said it, anyway. So the pub's been closed now for
a long time. At least 10 years.
Yeah,
because we've been here 10 years.
And it was closed down.
It was closed then. Yeah.
Okay, so it's been closed for a long time. But a gentleman called, wanting to come get an emergency food bag, and he said, "Now, where are you located?" And I said, 313 East Sullivan Street. Well, I'm not really familiar with that. And he said, "What are you next to?" And I said, "Well, we're between Two Dads Cafe and Bubba's Bookshop." And he said, "I don't know where any of those are." And it just come to my mind to say, I said, "Well, do you know where the old pub was?" He said, "Well, hell yeah, I know where that was. I know where you are now." So there you go.
All right.
And the funny thing, that was yesterday. Today, I had somebody else call that was wanting to come and get a food bag. It's somebody completely different, and said, "Yeah, that's across from where the old pub used to be." Yes, it is. That's us. Perfect location for us. So if we ever do any advertising, like they'll say Food City next to the racetrack. This is Shades of Grace across from the
old pub in the historic 5 Points district of the city, right off Church Circle.
Can't make this stuff up.
No, you can't.
Right in front of the mayor's office.
Yes, looking straight into the big place. Yes.
Well, it has been fun.
It has.
I'm glad to be back with you today.
Yeah. And I forgot to wear my Willen jacket. Well, I didn't forget. I knew I was going to be speaking and presenting at the earlier meeting today in Jonesboro, so I didn't want them all ask who is the Will and Jimmy show. So.
They probably already know.
They may already know.
I mean, it's world famous. They know who we are.
That's right.
Well, hang tight with us. We've got
Okay.
a very special segment
Yes.
coming up for you. You are really going to
Have you
enjoy
got a little
this.
commercial you could throw in there with those dancing pigs or something?
I don't know.
Just before we can get on.
I'll
to-
find something.
Yeah, let's have some kind of a little commercial break.
Okay.
And one of these days, we're going to have a good commercial from Kaz Walker.
Yeah, we'll do
That
that.
ought to bring back some memories of many of you who are from this
Hey,
area.
did you ever go to the drive-in when you were younger?
Yeah.
You remember how they used to do the intermission?
Yes.
And the little snacks would run across the
Yeah,
street?
yeah.
Let's do that.
Let's do that.
It's intermission time.
You go get your popcorn and whatever Jimmy puts up there, yeah, who knows what it, I never know what it's going to be. But it'll be nice.
Yes.
Bye, everybody. We love you. So good to see you.
Good
Hang
night.
on. Get that extra Coca-Cola or a box of popcorn or something. We ain't finished yet. We're ready for round two. Double
go-
feature.
Don't go to the pub.
Don't go to the pub. Bye.
Good night.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Okay, everybody. This is Pastor Will. I told you we would be right back after that great commercial break. And we are here with our special guest for today, which is Amy Bruner, who is the special guest on today's Will and...
Jimmy Show.
Say that one more time. The Will and...
Jimmy Show.
But today it is the Will and
Amy
Show.
Show, yes.
There we go. Okay, so Amy Bruner, it's good to have you with us today. And I know you're a familiar face around Shades of Grace over the past year, I guess now or so.
Almost a year and a half.
Almost a year and a half that Amy and your husband, Christopher, has been coming here to worship and become great friends and volunteers. I have to say that because anytime I'm going to say Amy and Christopher, I have to stop and check myself.
You do.
Because when we're doing the community annulment service in October at Emmanuel Lutheran Cemetery, Amy and her husband Christopher was there, and the TV reporter or newspaper, someone had asked me, what are those person's name carrying the flowers? And I said, Amy and Anthony Bruner. And that's how it came out in the front page of the newspaper.
The front page of the paper.
But there's a backstory to that. In another congregation, in another place, we had a family in the church, a couple whose name was Anthony and Amy.
Okay.
And so that's kind of how I connected the Amy and Anthony. But I always have to remember here, it's Amy and Christopher.
Yes.
Okay, so we got that out of the way.
It's out of the
Amy,
way.
tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure.
Whatever you want us to know. And
Goodness,
remember, there
where to
could be thousands of people you're going to tell this to.
Sure. Well, I have been at Shades of Grace, like we talked about, for almost a year and a half. And I love it. If you have not been here, I can't encourage you enough to come see what this place is about.
And I paid her a lot of money to say that, okay?
He did, but don't tell anybody. I have followed Shades online for years. I know we had a mutual friend that was here when Shades first started. And so I've watched for years and I've seen what Shades was about. And Chris and I were looking for a church, and someone had shared a post. I don't recall exactly what it was, back in December of 22.
Okay.
And I told Chris, I said, we got to go see what these folks are doing. Like, I want to go check this out. I want to go be a part of it. Let's just go see. And like I was telling you, yesterday, I remember the first service we came in, I just sat and cried the whole church service. I had not felt peace like that in so long. So we are in, we love it, and we love being here.
And you've invited several folks who
Yeah.
are now regular
Yeah.
attendees at Shades of Grace too, which proves that invitations do work.
Oh,
don't they?
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. It didn't even really start, I would say, as an invitation so much as just sharing what was going on at Shades, and we get to talking about, my church is doing this, and you wouldn't believe that is going on, and folks wanted to get to be a part of it and to get involved. And yeah, so happy we did.
Well, I love your enthusiasm, and you're a good cook too.
Thank you.
She prepared
Thank you.
a special dish for her husband yesterday, and Jimmy and I were able to enjoy the overflow of that today. So that was great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm glad you liked it.
And so, Amy, let us know a little bit about where do you work, or what do you do, or just a little bit about
A
yourself.
little bit about who I am?
Yeah,
Sure.
about who you are and where you're from.
I am originally from Sir Lawrenceville, so not very
Surgeonsville,
far.
for those of you.
Surgeonsville for
Yeah.
some folks, but Sir
Yeah.
Lawrenceville.
Have you ever heard it called that?
Oh, all the time.
Okay.
All the time.
When I first moved here, Surgeonsville,
Yeah.
and I was corrected. No, it's Surgoinsville.
It is, yeah.
Okay.
That's almost too many syllables.
And by the way,
But
that's right near where Landon is from too.
It is. Mhm.
Yeah, Landon is from near Surgeonsville too.
Hawkins County
Yeah,
area. So,
yeah, okay.
Chris and I we're both from Sir Lawrenceville. We've been married almost 11 years, and we moved to Kingsport about 10 years ago. In my previous life, I went to school to be a teacher.
I can believe that.
That's what my degree is in. And then I ended up in the banking world. So I have done that for just a little over 11 years,
Wow.
actually. So I've had a lot of great experiences, met a lot of great people. From a church perspective, Chris and I have been involved in a couple of churches, throughout our marriage. And as things happen and as things go, we started looking for a church and ended up here with
Just
you at
finding the
Shades.
right
Just
place.
finding the place where, we felt like we could really be a part and dig in and just... You come down here, friends, to kind of help and be a blessing, and you leave walking away just with so much more than you could ever give. So
That is true.
yeah,
And by the way, we're recording this on Tuesdays, and Monday Jimmy had the crud that all the rest of us have had, so he came in for an hour or two, and Amy just showed up to volunteer. And so we were able to send Jimmy home for the day, and Amy ran the phones on Monday and did a great job. And I could understand, you could be a teacher, you could be a banker, you could do just about anything. You're great at what you do.
thank you. And most of that phone answering yesterday, friends, was let's call back tomorrow. Jimmy will be here.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a great job.
So tell me a little bit about, you tell us that you enjoy worship at Shades of Grace. What are some of the favorite things that you like that speaks to you here, that may be something that satisfies you?
I think first of all is just there's always a spirit of worship. There's always a spirit of all of the things. I'm at a loss for words because it's beautiful, and it's unlike, again, anything I've ever experienced in a church. There's so much freedom of worship. The congregation here it's very diverse.
It is.
So many people from so many different backgrounds and so many walks of life coming together to worship, coming
And
together
that's
for the same reason.
that is a beautiful description of the kingdom of God.
It is. It is. And,
know.
and you feel that when you
Yes.
walk in. The
Yes.
kindness.
Diversity
of the
is
folks here.
beautiful.
It
Yes.
is. It's amazing.
I know Pastor Regina, and I've mentioned this lots of times in my sermon, I'm sure you've heard it, but she had a cliche that the sign of a dying church is where everybody looks alike.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
I've interrupted you, and I keep
You
moving
are good.
forward. Go
You
ahead.
are good. No,
But everybody does not look alike at Shades.
no, and no one has the same story or the same walk or the same background, but we're all coming together for the same purpose.
Exactly.
And there's, it's a place free of judgment, free of anything except for wanting to point people to Christ. I feel like this church is quite literally being the hands and feet of Jesus, and doing what Jesus called us to do and loving others.
Thank you.
And it's incredible to
And I feel that way, and it's truly become the place that I have looked for all my life as a pastor, the
Yeah.
years that I've been in ministry. I've been so blessed now for 10 years of my life to be a part of this beautiful picture of God's kingdom
Yeah.
coming to earth. God's kingdom comes near every time you walk in these doors.
It does, and it's the miracles that you see, the everyday stories. I have taken quite a few days off work in the past year and a half to come volunteer because there's nowhere. There's very few other places I would rather be if anywhere.
Right,
It's
right.
there's so much there's so much heartache and hard times and sadness,
Right.
but there's also so much joy
Yeah, so
and
many
so much
victories.
overcoming,
Yes.
so many victories in just
Yeah.
my very short time here that I've gotten to see or be a very small part of. It's incredible.
Well, tell me about some of those miracles that you've witnessed or know firsthand about here at Shades.
Yeah, so I have seen folks come in they were looking for something and something was just delivered a little bit before,
Right.
or it's not my story to share, but folks being able to get off the streets, finding that hope. And
But it
that-
is your story because you are a worshiper here. You support the ministry with
Yeah.
your prayers and your efforts and your resources. So it's you.
Yeah.
It's you. It's all
It
of
is,
us together.
yeah.
It takes a village.
Yeah,
It
and-
really does.
It takes a village, I think, is the other thing that amazes me so much about here. The last 2 days I've been here to help, but just plugging in very small ways, because there was a church here yesterday, there was a church here today.
Yes.
The way the community comes together
Yes.
to serve,
Yes.
it truly is a picture of the kingdom of
Well,
God. It's what it's all about.
It is. Well, for example, Monday, the day that you took Jimmy's place, we had St. Dominic's Catholic Church, the Mary and Martha group. And they have become very faithful here at least once or twice a month. And we have several groups from that church who works here every month. And, we could just turn them loose, and they do.
Yeah.
I mean, they know what to do, and we go about our business, and they run all of that at the door. They know about the mailbox. They know all the things. And then today we had Cross Connection,
Yeah.
Church of God, from West Kingsport, who also has several groups now throughout the month that comes and works. And they're likewise just fitting right in together like a hand in a glove.
Yeah.
And then while they were working today, we had Ketron Methodist Church from Lynn Garden came and brought all the meals prepared for tomorrow.
Yeah.
So isn't that wonderful?
It is. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It literally is taking a village, and
Yeah.
it's people coming together, to really meet the needs of the folks in this town where they are.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Well, tell them about that. Yesterday you got a call and you were looking at the calendar. And
Yeah.
Tell that story.
Yeah, so I had looked at the calendar to see, which days we may need help with sandwiches and meals and all of the things, and I noticed there was one day that was open on the calendar.
For the rest of the month?
For the next 2 weeks. I looked
Okay,
at this week
all right.
and next week.
Okay.
And I answered the phone, and there's a lady on the phone, and she's calling, I can't recall what church it was
Cameron.
from, but Cameron, yes.
Cameron United
And she
Methodist.
says, we want to bring 100 meals on Monday. And that was the one empty day. So I, very joyfully went back and wrote
Right.
their name in on that day. And it's beautiful how
Yeah.
she didn't call asking to come today or to
Yeah.
come on Friday. It was that one
Had to be
day.
that day.
It had to be that day. And that was
Yeah.
the one day that we needed something. So the way that, it feels God speaks and, leads people
Right.
to meet the needs exactly where they are. It's incredible. It's
Right.
something you have to experience.
You have to experience it.
Yeah.
Well, we also have some friends of our congregation, Bo and Teresa Sheffy, and their son Toby. And Bo comes every Monday. So occasionally it's Tuesday, but Bo will usually come every Monday with 25
Yeah.
bag lunches prepared.
Amazing.
And we'll probably hit 125 next Monday.
Absolutely.
With what Cameron brought and with what Bo brought. But one thing we noticed today is the really large number of persons who came, who were outside the building at the doors that I'd never seen before.
Yeah.
And Jimmy said he hadn't seen them.
Yes.
And
The
you
faces
probably saw some new folks.
are changing.
Yes.
There's new folks that, even in my short time that I've met several and new folks that I haven't. And,
Right.
we did a number of meals yesterday, and then I think we did 30 more today. Like, the need is increasing.
It is ever increasing.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay. What do you, tell us, in case somebody's viewing us from the Kingsport area or the Tri-Cities area, how do you feel about Saturday worship?
Oh my goodness. I love Saturday worship more than I ever dreamed I could.
I do too.
love it. Y'all, we get to come in on Saturday morning, have the most amazing
Was that Jimmy?
church service. I think it was.
All right.
He's agreeing
Oh,
with
Jimmy was
Saturday.
giving us a big woo, hallelujah. He agrees.
But it's such a great way to start the weekend. You start the weekend out worshiping with your family, and then you've got the rest of the weekend. I love having nowhere to be and nothing to do
Yeah,
on Sundays.
I do
It's
too,
actually
yes.
a great
It is
refresher
actually
to
a day
start
of
my
rest.
week. It's a
Yeah.
day of rest. Yes,
Yeah.
you're exactly right. So please come join us, 10:30s on Saturday. We are right downtown on Sullivan
Yeah.
Street. And we put out more chairs. Like, there's still room. So
Yeah, we put more chairs. We had our biggest crowd since we've been doing worshiping on Saturdays.
yep.
But I love this Saturday worship. You know, when the pandemic came and we were closed for an extended time, and you all came, I guess, after the pandemic, after we reopened and we're doing a soft opening on Saturdays. But I struggled with that, but it's the best thing we've ever done. I
It's
believe that.
fantastic. Yeah, it's great.
And if you're in a dying church, in a dying community, in a place where things just aren't working, then talk to your pastor, or maybe you are in ministry. Then think about asking the Lord how you can shake things up a little bit.
Yeah.
Nowhere in the Bible does it say we have to worship at 10 o'clock on Saturday morning, or Sunday morning, I should say.
Yeah.
You know, when we first opened here, we never have been a Sunday morning church.
Right.
For 10 years, we were a 4 o'clock Sunday afternoon church until the pandemic came. But I know churches now, there are different things with what is called fresh expressions in the United Methodist Church across the country. And they're starting house churches, small groups, churches in bars, churches in supermarkets. You know, almost every supermarket has a meeting room, you know. And there's places to meet. There's rodeo churches, there's barn
Yeah.
churches, I mean, wherever you've got 2 or 3 people, you've already got the church.
You do. It doesn't
And-
have to be
yeah.
this. It's not the walls.
It's not the
people.
place.
Yeah.
Who was it told me? Becky was our guest last week, Becky Mann, and I remember something she specifically said, and maybe some of you caught that. She said, I believe that God calls us to people and not to places.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what has happened here. And the Lord called us to be planted right here in this location, and then the people already they're here.
Yeah.
It's like going fishing, setting your boat down in the middle of the biggest school of fish in the lake,
Yep.
and just letting down your nets.
It is. Very much.
And somebody said for years, they're just jumping in the boat at Shades of Grace.
Yes.
We don't even have to go fishing for them. They're jumping in our boat.
No, it's the folks that called yesterday. Someone told me to call Shades. Someone told me you could help.
Right.
The people that have been here today. Someone sent me to Shades. You know,
Right.
that just knowing that there's this place in the community that
Right.
is going to do everything that we can to help.
We do.
It's
We
just
can't-
from experience,
Yeah.
friends. It's
we
amazing.
can't fix a lot. A lot we can't do, but a whole lot we can do. But we try to never let anybody leave without some little ray of hope
Yeah.
or possibility, or give them at least a phone number or two of persons whom we think can fill in that gap that we're not able to.
Yep.
So, but yeah, we get it all the time. Almost every day, or someone will walk up to the door that we've not seen before, and they'll say something to the effect of, somebody told me I might could get a shower here.
Yep.
You know, something that simple.
It is.
And I hadn't thought much about it until we did the ministry here 10 years ago. But if you were suddenly thrust out into the streets homeless, with nowhere to go, where would you go? What would you do?
Yeah.
You know, and I would hope that we would find a place like Shades of Grace.
I would hope so.
Yep. So what else would you like us to know about? What, you said you would study to be a teacher?
I did.
What was your major, or what was your hope? What did you hope to do?
My now expired license was K through 6. So I
Oh,
went to
gosh.
Stone Elementary School.
Well, I bless you with that.
Yeah.
Anybody that can do that has already earned half the way to heaven, I'll tell
Yeah,
you.
I loved
joking.
it. It was great. I've gotten to work in after school programs and church programs throughout the years, and I love that. But I also have learned that I really love working with adults. And my job has allowed me to
And aren't we
help
all
and
just
mentor
children at
and-
heart?
We are,
Yeah.
and I love that here. I love being able to just be a little bit of a helping hand.
Right.
So
Well, another thing about Christopher, had to stop and make sure I'm saying
You
that
got
right,
it, you got it.
is that he's one of Jimmy's sidekicks
Yep.
in the sound booth.
Yes.
And is he enjoying doing that?
he loves it.
Good.
Yeah, he's doing great.
So he's one of our persons who puts things on the screen for us, and So are you all excited about our upcoming trip to Lake Junaluska?
Well, I can't wait.
Have you ever been to Lake Junaluska?
I have not been to Lake Junaluska, and I will confess, for a long time I thought you said Juneau, Alaska.
No, we would have a lot of people signing up
I know.
for a free trip to
So,
Juneau, Alaska.
We would be, but I'm just as excited for Lake Junaluska. I think it'll be a great time. I'm so excited to have Shades represented there.
Yes, we're excited.
The choir's amazing. It's grown and it's beautiful. They're doing
Good.
such a great job.
Yes,
so-
they are, and we thank Landon for that.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay. So tell us anything else that you'd want us to know in case you meet someone out on the street and they say, hey, I saw you on the Will and Jimmy show.
Oh, there's so many things to tell, but I think the thing that I would leave you with is just come be a part. Keep watching, the videos. If you can't come be a part, our church is so blessed with
Yes.
this online presence and
yes.
this online ministry. It's how I ended up here.
Yeah.
And I know especially during the pandemic, it was such a great way for folks to still connect, and it still is. But if you're in the area and you can get out,
Right.
come see us. We want you here.
Well, I noticed a name on the viewing on Sunday afternoon that I didn't recognize, and she's from Kansas.
Oh, that's awesome.
An older lady, and how she found us, I don't know, because there were no connections obvious on her Facebook page, but
Yeah.
people are finding us from all over. Maybe she's just randomly passing through
Yep.
cyberspace.
That's amazing.
Okay, Jimmy said you might have some
I
questions
was
for me
told
today.
to ask you some questions.
All
I'm going
right.
to put these back on.
Well, let's see.
Let's
Put on
see.
your teacher hat.
Yes, that's what it is.
Okay.
So, according to Proverbs 2:7, what is the Lord to those who walk in integrity? And I'll give you the choices.
Okay.
Is he a guide? Is he security? Or is he a shield?
He is a shield.
He is a shield.
Aha,
Good job.
I
Look
got
at
it.
you.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So, then according to Proverbs 2:8, the Lord guards the path of justice and does what for his godly ones? Do you want the choices?
Give me the choices.
Does he teach them? Does he protect their families? Or does he preserve the way?
Preserves the way.
2 for 2. What
All
is
right.
happening? Look at you go. So, number 3, according to Proverbs 2:10, when wisdom enters the heart, what will be pleasant to the soul?
You better give me the choices.
Is it knowledge, love, or peace?
Knowledge.
Not 3 for 3. You
All
were
right.
knocking it out of the park
Okay.
tonight. So according to Proverbs 2:11 and 12, what will a person of discretion and understanding be delivered from?
Give me the possibilities.
Is it boredom, the way of evil, or lies?
The way of evil.
The way of evil, 4 for 4.
Okay.
Last one.
All right.
According to Proverbs 3:3, what should be bound around the neck, and written on the tablet of the heart? Is it kindness and truth, truth and love, or kindness and devotion?
What was number 8?
Kindness and truth.
Kindness and truth.
Kindness and truth. You got it.
Okay.
Look
Is
at
that
you
it?
go. That's it. Unless
All
you want
right.
this bonus.
Hey, give me the bonus.
By doing this, in whose sight will one find favor and good repute?
Doing this in whose... okay, read that again.
By doing this, in whose sight will one find favor and good repute?
By doing... Okay,
By having kindness and truth written on your heart.
okay.
There's no choices.
Oh, okay.
It's God and man. God and man. Yeah. That
All
bonus
right.
was hard.
Great. I never could hardly get the point whether it was a question or if I was getting part of the answer, but hey, 4 out of 5 ain't bad.
Oh, you got 5 out of 5.
Did I
We
get
just-
5 out
we'll
of
just-
5?
Yeah, that was the
All
bonus,
right.
so you
All
good.
right. Well, great.
Yeah.
Well, have we got any more questions on there? Let me ask you one.
Oh, no, I didn't
Let's see.
study.
Hey, let's pull this one out
Oh,
here.
no.
Let's see. Let's see. Let me find this one. What happened to David after the death of Absalom? You want the
I would
questions?
love the choices.
He went into hiding, he was restored to the throne, or he appointed Adonijah king.
I don't remember the story of Absalom. I'm going to guess, was he restored to the throne?
That was it.
Oh, look at that.
Absolutely.
All right.
2 Samuel 19:22.
Okay.
Let's see, you know anything about Absalom? You remember who he was?
I do not remember who he was.
If I'm
Help me
not
out.
mistaken, Absalom was the one who had the long flowing hair, who was riding his horse and got his head caught in the
Oh.
branches and was hanging there, and the enemy came and
Okay.
devoured him, destroyed him. Okay, the bonus for that is who anointed Samuel, no, I'm sorry, who anointed Solomon as king? And I promise you, I would have not gotten this one. I would have never get this one.
Don't know, who did?
Okay, Zadok.
Yeah, nope, you're right, I wouldn't have got it.
Zadok was a priest in 1 Kings 1 and 39. Okay,
There's some homework to go read.
there's some homework to go. Okay,
Yeah.
well, thank you, and we want to thank our friend Charlotte in Canada for providing the questions,
Yeah.
as she always does it. We should be seeing Miss Charlotte pretty soon. Let us know, Charlotte, when you're coming. Your snow has all melted, and it's time for you to make a trip south, okay? All right, Amy, so good to have you with us tonight.
you.
Good to have you at Shades of Grace, and we just bless you tonight in the name of the Lord.
It's great to be
Would you like to pray, or would you want me to pray?
Go right ahead.
Almighty, loving God, we thank you for your goodness to us. Thank you for laughter. Thank you for times when we can just be enriched with your presence. And Lord, where two or more gather in your name, we know that you are with us, you are in us, and you are among us. We are your body in the world. We are your church. Imperfect as we may be, Lord, we give ourselves to you and thank you that you cause us to be worthy, not because of who we are, but because of who you are. We give you praise. Bless all of our people tonight, wherever they may be, and be with us now until we talk again on the world famous Will and
Jimmy Show.
Amen, everybody.
Amen.
Good night. God bless
Good night.
you. Bye.